Bulawanaka, it's a great delight for Linda and I to be here with you this morning on a very special occasion. I'm hoping that I can meet as many of you as I can afterwards, because you now know my life. I need to know yours. But coming from a background, as was read out, my mother worked in a grocery store, marketplace, just like this, and I grew up after school hopping off the bus going to see my mother in that facility. So not that I can say I've worked in the market of Nausori, but I know the value of it, and I understand the role that you play in your community here. It is so important. Could I acknowledge the Honourable Faiyaz Koya, Minister for Commerce, Trade, Tourism and Transport, and Acting Minister for Local Government. Thank you for being here today. Ms Sandra Bernklau, representing UN Women. Ms Benita Bakrusier, the President of the Nausori Women Markets Vendors Association. Ratu Lupani Tangi Takibao of Kamai, Nausori. Mrs Anura Shika Bari, Masinyu and Nausori Municipal Council Chief Executive Officer. His Excellency John Feeks, our Australian High Commissioner, Her Excellency Charlotte Dalal, High Commissioner for New Zealand, and of course your own High Commissioner to Australia, His Excellency Luke Dalal, to the market vendors, those who manage this organisation, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. As I said, a delight to be here today. As was mentioned, we are the patrons of UN Women's in Australia, the National Committee. So Linda and I, on the 8th or 9th of March each year, depending on which day the UN Women's Council have their International Women's Day breakfast, we attend that breakfast. This is a gathering of several hundred, often thousands, of women and men who come to support women on International Women's Day. Often on those days, there are presentations about projects that UN Women is undertaking in the region. And more often than not, it's about how they are helping women in markets across the Pacific, throughout the Pacific countries. So we've heard the stories. Can I tell you how nice it is today for us to be here to touch it, feel it, see it, and celebrate it. This is a magnificent day for the community. So thank you, UN Women, for your role. Sandra, through you to others, I know played an important role in what you do. And then encouraging and working my government, the government of Fiji, the government of Canada, New Zealand and others who have contributed to what is a valuable community resource. Now we all know that markets are critical to life in all countries. They take various forms. I like the idea the Assistant Minister mentioned about becoming more than a market. If you go into Melbourne, Victoria, Queen Victoria markets, into Sydney, Paddy's Market, yes, they provide a resource for the community, but they are an attraction. They are a place that people come and enjoy, and more importantly than that, they are a place that people will come and enjoy your culture. Find it, describe it, enjoy it, and be, I know, embraced by you. So this market is so important. But as been mentioned, markets operate efficiently when the vendors can arrive safely, deliver their goods, make their sales, retain their earnings, be accommodated overnight securely and safely if they're required to be. That is critical. So to have this facility today, I believe, is a life changer for the women of Nausori Market, because it provides you better health outcomes, better safety outcomes, and better security outcomes. Without those, we are lesser as a community. You are lesser as a community. So I think this will empower market vendors, and as has been stated, this is a great model for the rest of Fiji to be following. So congratulations. I know that there was a great deal of input and consultation from the vendors here. That is critical. No good designing something that doesn't work. Seen a lot of those in my life. This is designed for you, by you. So, well done. But I congratulate all the others involved in Markets for Change project, the governments, the municipal councils, the vendors, as I said, the vendor associations, and the civil society organisations and UN agencies. You should be very proud of what you have achieved here at Nausori Markets. This, I know, is phase one of Markets for Change here, and Australia has been a very proud partner of phase one, so helping to develop the vendor groups, improve infrastructure and build the capacity of women in business. I'm pleased to learn that Australia will continue to support Markets for Change over the next 5 years through phase two. And the next phase will empower women market vendors to succeed in business, create better livelihoods and make sound financial decisions. Can I say as an aside, I often find when I travel around Australia, particularly in our Indigenous communities, people often don't understand that they are a small business. And small business requires particular skills. And for women to be successful, first of all, register, yes, I'm a small business. B, how do I be a successful small business? I think that, as well as the physical structures, is very important. That is how women are empowered to act as business women. One of the strengths of the markets is it continues to forge a close partnership between the stakeholders at all levels, and I think that's critical because we learn not only about the market, of course we learn about community issues. This will be a great conduit for community issues to come to ears that should hear it, and it should be used as such. So Australia is very delighted to support our development partners, UN Women and the Fijian government, continue to play our role in the cooperation and supporting initiatives that empower women. So thank you. It's a great honour, as I say, to be here. This particular new centre, particularly the accommodation aspect of it and the educational aspect of it, but more so I think for both of us to be able to come to an occasion where we've heard the theory, now we see it in practice. And in a job like mine, believe me, that's really encouraging and important. So I hear a lot of theory. It's great to see it in action. So thank you. It's a delightful day, a happy day, I know, for the community here, and it's just a great privilege for us to be part of it. Banaka Whakalevu, and God bless Fiji.
Thank you, Master of Ceremonies. His Excellency General, Honourable David John Hurley, Governor General of the Commonwealth of Australia, Her Excellency Ms. Linda Hurley, Her Excellency John Feeks, Australian High Commissioner, Her Excellency Charlotte Darlow, New Zealand High Commissioner to Fiji, of course our very own Excellency Luke Ndoniwau, Komai Nausori, Ratu Lipani Tangiraki Bau, Ms. Sandra Bernklau, representative for UN Women, Fiji Multi-Country Office, Shaheen Ali, the Permanent Secretary for Local Government, and also the Permanent Secretary for Industry, Trade, Commerce, Trade, Tourism and Transport. Representatives from New Zealand and the Canadian governments, representatives of the Nausori Women's Market Vendors Association, the Chief Executive Officer and team of Special Administrators of Nasinu Town Council, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. Bulu Vinaka, and a very, very good morning to all of you. Ladies and gentlemen, today is a very special day for all of us here. It's a special day for the Fijian and our partner governments, Australia, New Zealand and Canada. And most importantly, it's a special day for the women of Nausori Market. And the beauty of today is witnessing what we're capable of achieving through partnership. Partnerships founded on shared commitments. We have the United Nations Development Program, the UN Women and the women vendors themselves, all of whom have been instrumental in the Markets for Change project. I'm especially pleased to be a part of and to open something that I know will make a difference to the lives of Fijian women. What we see today, ladies and gentlemen, is a model example of what strong, sustainable partnership can achieve. And what better way than to have His Excellency General, the Honourable Governor General of the Commonwealth of Australia here with us. I know that Minister Pramila Kumar, who has always been a strong advocate of women's empowerment, would have been thrilled to be here with you as well. But unfortunately, she's actually out of the country at the moment. Ladies and gentlemen, market development remains a priority, a top priority of the Ministry of Local Government's plans to expand our infrastructure in all 13 municipal councils. Earlier in March, we broke ground in Levuka, and when the Levuka market does open, Fiji will have market infrastructure in each one of our towns and cities. And this is part of the Fijian government's commitment in creating safe and secure facilities whilst empowering women and micro, small and medium enterprises. Every day around the world, women are actually subjected to barriers that hold them back from equal economic opportunities. But not having a space to sell or even a place to rest and prepare should not be one of them, especially not if we can help it. We have 1,179 vendors in the Nausori market, of which 40%, that's 443, are women. More than half, 53% of these women, are from the interior of rural areas of Fiji. The women who are with us today come from Tailevu, come from Rewa and Naitasiri. Some come as far as Reki and from Ba. So by providing accommodation, these women don't have to spend money on transportation, nor do they have to wake up in the wee hours of the morning to actually only to spend their nights along the market corridor, but bus stands or the streets, waiting for the market to open the next day. And that's why the Markets for Change project is so crucial, because we're providing our mothers, our sisters and our daughters a decent working environment where they'll have their own kitchen, cleaner restrooms, laundry facilities and sleeping area with proper beds. Ladies and gentlemen, the total project investment towards the centre is Fijian $629,380. An investment that will cater for 80 women vendors at any one time. Accommodation will have 2 floors. On the first floor there is a restroom area with special needs ensuite shower facility, large dining area and 2 storage rooms. It will also host a large sleeping area of about 142 square meters, which can also be used for training and workshops and consultations. This will actually assist the council to generate additional income also, which will eventually help subsidize the rate charged to the vendors, and can be used for maintenance of the facility. So in many ways, ladies and gentlemen, this grants vendors more than a safe night's sleep, because you have at your disposal a multi-purpose facility. On the ground floor, we have an open area to host vendors who were otherwise selling out from outside or from under temporary tents. It will also have 3 kiosks to help generate additional income and an area dedicated to a vertical lift, creating flexibility to persons with reduced mobility. Following today, we have women accommodation centers in almost all of our major towns and cities, including Suva, Singatoka, Nandi, Namaka, Ba, Rekareki and Labasa. Ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellencies, on behalf of the Fijian government, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank our government partners, the Markets for Change and the UN family. And I know I don't have to assure you of the positive impact that you continue to create for the women of Fiji. So thank you very much and Benawa Levu. Ladies and gentlemen, the Nausori market is actually considered one of the best markets in the country, from serving the best seafood to the best food parcels, to the freshest fruit and vegetables. Early Saturday mornings, the Nausori market is quite a sight. Believe me, I do come and frequent the place. Even on my motorcycle, I'm past here just to buy an ice block. We even have people traveling all the way from Lamy Town during avocado season. So to the market vendors, I want to remind you that you have the potential to very well become an actual experience. Trust me, people from Suva need a different experience. Don't limit yourself to being perceived as a vendor alone. When you continue to work together to upkeep this market and maintain a consistent quality of supply, I'm confident the Nausori market will become a stronger anchor attraction for the greater Nausori area. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Nava Levu, and God bless all of you.
Your Excellency General, the Honourable David John Hurley, Governor-General of the Commonwealth of Australia, and Her Excellency Linda Hurley, the Honourable Minister for Commerce, Trade and Tourism, and Acting Minister for Local Government, the Honourable Faiyaz Koya, His Excellency the Australian High Commissioner, Mr. John Feeks, Her Excellency the New Zealand High Commissioner, Ms. Charlotte Darlow, Komai Nausori, Ratu Lapani, Tangidakambao, Acting Permanent Secretary for the Ministry of Local Government, Shaheen Ali, Director of Local Government, and the whole team at the Ministry of Local Government, Special Administrator, Mr. Umakant Patel, CEO and staff of Nausori Town Council, the President and Vice President and representatives of the Nausori Market Vendors Association, market vendors and residents of Nausori. Colleagues and friends, Bulavanaka and warm greetings from the project partners of the Markets for Change project. A very, very big congratulations to the Government of Fiji, the Ministry of Local Government on the successful completion of this project, and for continuing to prioritize the safety, security, and livelihoods of women, especially rural women. The Government of Fiji has continued to prioritize improvements in municipal markets and development of market vendor accommodation centers as key infrastructure development projects that support the livelihoods of rural women, and really all women in Fiji. Again, Honourable Minister, big congratulations on this project. I'm standing here today representing the Markets for Change project partners, and I'm absolutely delighted that we have with us His Excellency, the Honourable David Hurley, and Her Excellency, Mrs. Linda Hurley, representing project partners, the Government of Australia. The Government of Australia has been a long-standing partner and supporter of gender equality in Fiji and Pacific, and has been the primary contributors to this particular project. We thank Australia for their partnership and support through the Markets for Change project, and for their continued prioritization of gender equality in Fiji and the Pacific. Also acknowledging that their excellencies are also patrons for the UN Women Australia National Committee. The UN Women Australia National Committee has also contributed to this project by providing soft furnishings in the accommodation center. So we are doubly grateful, Your Excellencies, for your presence here today, and we thank the Australia National Committee for this generous contribution. A very big thank you to all Markets for Change project partners, governments of Australia, Canada, and New Zealand, and the commitment to the shared priority of advancing gender equality through projects such as Markets for Change. UN Women, as well as UNDP, are proud partners in this partnership. Today marks a very important day for the township of Nausori, and in particular, the rural women of Tailevu, Naitasiri, and Rewa. This center joins other rural women's accommodation centers in Fiji, in Nandi, Namaka, Lautoka, Rakiraki, Suva, Lambasa, Ba, and Senatoka. All have women's accommodation centers. These accommodations are absolutely critical spaces for rural women to come. They not only provide safe and secure accommodation, they go beyond that. They provide spaces for training, for meeting, for governance meetings, for learning and exchanging ideas and supporting each other. These rural women's accommodation centers are unique to Fiji municipal markets, and they're really best practice models in the participation of rural women in local economic development. UN Women and other partners, we are promoting this model around the Pacific, so Fiji has a lot to be proud of there. Markets are essential to the livelihoods of many households in Fiji, which means markets offer the opportunity to improve the economic situation and empowerment of women, inclusive of those women who are often left out, rural women and women with disabilities. supporting women to engage economically, grow their businesses, innovate, be resilient to disasters, participate in decision-making. All of these things are critical to economic growth, and all of these align with the government of Fiji priorities in job creation, sustainable livelihoods, and increasing economic opportunities for women. I have the honor today also to convey messages from Markets for Change project partners, New Zealand and Canada. The Government of New Zealand partners have conveyed that the project Markets for Change has become synonymous with the word partnership. It is a project that has brought together governments, market vendors and associations, civil society, UN agencies, and development partners working together in collaboration towards that shared interest. New Zealand is a proud partner of the Markets for Change program. From the Government of Canada, and I feel a little bit more qualified because I'm actually Canadian, so I can say that. So from the Government of Canada, they wish to convey that they take pride in supporting the Markets for Change project and encourage the market vendors to take full advantage of the opportunities this facility provides. Canada aims at promoting gender equality, and it's very important to the Government of Canada as it aligns with Canada's feminist international assistance policy. On behalf of the Markets for Change project, we wish again to convey our deepest congratulations to the Government of Fiji, the Ministry of Local Government, the Nausori Market Vendors Association, and all vendors and the people of the Township of Nausori on the opening of the Nausori Women's Accommodation Center. What a wonderful achievement. Congratulations.